A lot of parents and students these days ask me whether it's really a good idea to get a liberal arts education. They sometimes say, with the economy the way it is, shouldn't I get a professional education? Should I be trained in a particular job so that I can get into a good profession as soon as I get out of college? And I always say to them that a liberal arts education is really one of the best kinds of education you can get today. If you want something safe, a liberal arts education is really what you want. Let me explain a little. Today, I think we are perhaps the first generation that has ever lived where we can be very sure of one thing, and that is we don't know what the future will look like. We don't know 20 years from now, when the current students are out there and in their careers, what will technology look like? What will the education look like? What will our social system look like? Where in the world will they live? And so when I think about what kind of education will suit those students, what we want to do is give them as broad and deep and strong a platform as we can possibly give them, so that throughout the rest of their careers, they'll be able not just to follow and keep up with what's going on in their fields, but to lead. So how does a liberal arts education do that? Well, it is a strong and broad platform. The breadth comes from saying that our students should not train narrowly in just one field. They should get exposure to a breadth of ways of knowing, a breadth of knowledge across the humanities, the social sciences, the natural sciences, and the computational sciences. They should make sure that they have the kind of intellectual and academic skills that will allow them to continue to learn throughout their careers. So we want them to be able to write well. They need to be able to read critically. Everybody needs a basic level of competence in math and computational skills. And in this global world, in the College of Arts and Sciences, we think that everybody also needs a competence in at least one foreign language up to the level of 2 years, because after all of our students will be working around the globe. They will be working with international people. So with that breadth that comes from sampling widely, with the strength that comes from the intellectual skills, and then the depth that comes from at least one chosen major, and of course lots of our students do multiple majors, that breadth, strength, and depth, we think, will give the kind of preparation that our students will need, not just the year after they graduate, but 10 years later, 20 years, or 30 years later. When students think about their future and look at their educational careers here to say, what kind of choices should I make? Beside the general requirements, what should I do, what majors, what skills? There are a lot of things that we encourage students to do. So certainly the writing and computation is very important for the future. But also one of the things that we're putting into our education more and more, and not just CAS, but all of the Boston University undergraduate colleges, is what we call exploratory learning or discovery learning. We make sure that our students get first-hand experience in discovery themselves, whether it's hands-on research or going out into the world and doing an internship. We try to make sure that as many of our students as possible have that experience of discovery. Another way we do exploratory learning is the fabulous international studies programs, the study abroad at BU. BU has some of the best study abroad in the entire country. One of the things that we're very proud of is we don't sell our students a lot to other places. We have our own programs. We build them so that they fit the BU education, so that they fit what we do here in Boston. And so we have students who graduate from this university and from the College of Arts and Sciences being able to say, I was able to study abroad, and not only in most of these places, I was able to study abroad. I held an internship. I was able to work in Britain, in China, in France, in so many places around the world. And I have to say, if I were an employer and I looked at a couple of different students and one was able to tell me, I held down a job in one of these foreign countries while I was studying, I think that person had some really good skills.